We are here with Dr. Israel Barsh, and Dr. Barsh is running for LaGrange Mayor. Thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely, glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm first married to LaGrange. I'm a native of LaGrange. I'm married to this place. I remember at 6 years old, at the integration happened at the East Post School. I was there. So I've been here a long time. Graduated from the LaGrange Boys School, went to LaGrange High School, graduated in 1977, played football and basketball there. I was a senior favorite there also. I left there and then went on to college. I graduated at Washington University as a BA in social studies. And so went on there and got my doctorate in '89 from the Bishop College in Seattle, Washington. And so my experience as a military officer, my leadership experience, 15 years as a United States military officer.
Wow.
I pastored 3 churches in Washington State, founder of a school that went from K to 12th grade school from ground zero, started with my own kids. Matter of fact, our own kids. I'm married to a beautiful wife who just left out of here, Barsh. The school started with our kids. It went on for about 12 years, 14 staff. There, graduated a lot of kids to college. Then we started Landscape Coalition, which is a 501c3, dealing with housing, dealing with community services. It's a wealth of leadership experience. I'm an author. I authored 3 books. I ran a couple of times here for city council. I've been committed to this city. I didn't just run and then stop. I've been in that seat. Unlike some other people, I've been there, been in the meetings, the downstairs meetings, the upstairs meetings. I've been involved with this city. Right there with the last mayor, Dr. Edmondson, we had many conversations. So we want to continue to push the city forward. It's critical that we do that. I'm also a member of the NAACP, worked real strong with Eddie Fanning. I'm out in the city circulating since I've been here. We've been here about 7 years. We have, altogether, we have about 10 children, about 10 grandkids.
Wow.
All our sons graduated, BAs and master's degrees. In fact, they matriculated from our school. So I know about youth. I know youth development. One thing about myself, I love LaGrange. My parents were here. My father worked at Milliken's for about 40 years. I got a sister who worked at Milliken. I left here at 17. So I understand the youth here. I left here, went to the military, and so it's just been a great adventure.
Wow, you've had a long and adventurous life, and
Right.
lots of kids.
Right.
Tell us, is there any one circumstance that led you to want to be involved in office locally?
This started early, about 15 years when I was working at the Griggs Center. I worked with Mr. English. I worked with Grip. I worked with Mr. Cox, who was the city council. Mr. Cox, Grip, really inspired me at an early age. Matter of fact, when I left here, it was Mr. Cox who called me in Seattle and asked me to come back down here and run for city council. I had no intention to do that. Again, we had a school, a big child care agency. I'm working for the state of Washington as a juvenile justice, also a counselor too. But when I came down here, I saw the brokenness. I saw a lot of helplessness. I saw a lot of low-income people, things that were happening in the community. I was raised up in the project, by the way, so I know what that feels like. I saw the same oppression, Kendall, that I felt as a kid. And I said, this cannot be right. Myself being a leader, being in the military as an officer and being a leader with 14 staff, and when I saw that, I just can't turn my back on that. And when I started going to city council meeting, there were times, Kendall, was only 2 people in that meeting. It was me, and that's it. And after everybody else left, I was the only black man in that meeting. And that's been probably about 6 years. And so that upstairs and downstairs meeting, I've been the only black face in that place besides some of the sisters. But my motivation is inspire LaGrange. LaGrange is a great place. It has to be inspired. It has to be nurtured. But Mr. Cox, he raised me up. Grip, Mr. English, LaGrange McCamey. These are the ones who inspired me.
Wonderful. So you've got we have limited time in office. What is one thing that you would like to see for reform that you could make a difference?
Well, I would say PPP, public safety first. We have to secure our community. LaGrange is in Georgia is known as on the 10 list of unsafe cities in Georgia. And so LaGrange is on the 5th. My role, I will make sure it is not on that list. We have 20 slots here, Kendall, that the police that are not filled. We need, I would make sure to put 4 precincts around this city. We only have 1. And so that's the first thing, public safety. The second thing, glory to God, is dealing with our parents and with schools. Our schools are below level. LaGrange High School, Troop High School, Callaway High School is 50% below academics. Remember, I'm a principal. I was a principal for 12 years of my life. So I've been there with infants and been there with 9th graders and 12th graders. I was a teacher at another school. So there's no way we can let these youth continue to have low academics. We've got to be on board. I'm the one who would be, I'm accessible as a mayor, make sure I'm with the city council, make sure I'm with the school board. There, I understand education. And the other part there is dealing with the police safety, the parenting, and then we deal with where we are now helping other workforce people coming into our city. There's people going through our city who are not staying here. There's 20,000 people coming through LaGrange. It's a beautiful city, but we want them to stay. We don't want them to leave. We want them to stay. So I'm going to make sure that we get industries. We got 500, Fortune 500 companies that are here, 200 nonprofits. I want to make sure I connect these people. Now, I'm a pastor here, so there's churches here, but we need to connect them so we make sure they're connected, we can eliminate these burdens. This city has been in a mourning season. Isaiah 63:3 says that now is the appointed time for joy. I want to make sure that LaGrange is no longer mourning. We have lost people here. We just lost the last mayor. We lost LaGrange McCamey. We lost 7 people in 2019. 7 people were murdered in 2019 here. And at LaQuay, a lot of these people, Mark Reynolds, a lot of them were murdered here. And the city been in mourning. Mr. English lost. Mr. English's wife, LaGrange McCamey. Then the mayor. Then you got the city manager left. Police left. So this city has been in mourning. But it's a great city. My role, matter of fact, as a pastor and get these pastors together, they become a city of joy. We got so much here, but we got to relieve the burden and return the city and give them beauty for their ashes.
I want to ask you about a little bit about the budget. And what is your opinion on nonprofits and the city supporting nonprofits? And would you like to see the budget increased or decreased for nonprofit organization contributions?
I would love this. This city runs, I was with Patrick yesterday, a couple of days ago. I met with all the city people. Again, I'm meeting them, assessing them. Our city has a $120 million budget. Now, I have a nonprofit myself. Nonprofit runs city. So I'm going to make sure that we increase that budget for nonprofit, that we get grant writers in here for nonprofit. A city cannot exist without nonprofit. United Way, where it is. Veterans homes. You deal with Dash. You're dealing with New Venture. We need homeless shelters. So I'm going to make sure we increase it, not taking from the revenue of the city, but Kendall, we got to create revenue. So we can create that by getting the grant writers here and writing other grants that can really increase nonprofits. We have a lot of youth. We don't have a youth prevention program here, but there's millions of dollars for that. So I'll be the mayor to make sure that we create new revenue for that.
Okay, and so just to make sure I understand, so you don't necessarily want to decrease or increase the line item for current contributions to nonprofits, but you would like to have a line item to hire a grant writer to be able to secure more funding that could be contributed to the nonprofits.
Well, the 2 things, right? I want to increase money going to nonprofits. They need the finance. They need funding. I want to make sure we hire a grant writer in the city where we have an empowerment piece where these nonprofits can come and understand how to receive grants, but not necessarily from the city.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So you want a grant writer that would work in conjunction with the nonprofits to help them in securing grants, maybe federal or private grants from around the country.
Yeah, Kendall, matter of fact, I'm a grant writer myself. My company is offered a nonprofit. We've been existing about 25 years. by me starting my school in Seattle. I didn't have no money, not like that. But somebody told me about nonprofit, and we went from 4 buildings. You see, I never sold my house, never had to get equity out of it to do it. We received grants. So I'm accustomed to having no money, and all of a sudden, here go an $80,000 grant. You see, and when you have kids and you got a big old building, you got expenses, and you got to pull from your regular revenue, that's important. So we want to really nurture these nonprofits and bless them. No city in America can exist without nonprofits.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. I want to talk about our housing.
Okay.
What in the uniform, our UDO, so our development ordinance, are you familiar with the UDO?
Yes.
And do you think there needs to be modifications to it?
It needs to be modifications concerning the investors. We have a lot of investors coming in who are investing money and making profit. And so we need to modify these UDOs where money is coming in and not so much going out. And we have to modify the UDOs. That way, low-income people can no longer, they can have houses that they can afford and not be pushed out of the community. And so I want to make sure that we're working on both sides of the community. You got the rich houses, you got those who are poor from D1 to D2. So we need to modify these things and make sure that the citizens are pleased and they can live where they want to live or not be pushed off. And so these things definitely on my watch. Make sure that we don't have certain investors coming in and people come from all over the world, like where you are in Bryan Lake, and they love that place. They've come here to enjoy life, and now it seems like they can't enjoy life because they're being pushed out. We'll make sure we stop that because we think we want to attract the investors. We want to make sure that they are married to, like I just said, my reason running for mayor, I'm married to this city. We want to make sure these people coming in here, they're not just going to be flirting with us and trying to find money, but that I want to ask, are you going to marry to us? Or are you trying to find another $1 million? If not, then I don't want to talk to you. So I'm straight with my leadership. It's going to be cut and dry.
With the growth that LaGrange is experiencing, what is your proposal to make sure that we preserve the character of LaGrange?
We have to protect our downtown. Downtown is where people go. It's beautifying right now. This is the history of LaGrange. It's a small city with a great character. People come here to get out of the hustle and bustle. I came here from Atlanta myself. I couldn't stand all the hustle and bustle. I love LaGrange. I love the lakes. We need to advertise our lakes, West Point Lake. We need to advertise, West Point, for Point University, LaGrange College. Downtown is where people go around the square. That has to be protected. You see, we got to watch what comes in and what goes out and make sure that we keep the character of LaGrange as a great city, but also preserve it where it does not get in a place where it's overcrowded.
Okay. And seeing that we have financial pressures, families are having financial pressures, organizations are, and our community budgets are, under pressure as well. Mm-hmm. What is one thing that you would like to see cut or reduced because of those financial pressures?
Cut or reduce. Right now, I have the budget, matter of fact. Again, I have it right on my computer, looked at it today. There's not too many things that we need to cut. We need to increase certain things. But remember, we make money here with utility. There's no city tax. So the splash helps us a lot. But one of the greatest things that we need to do is employ grant writers where we can have we can have revenue coming in. For us cutting back on certain things, I don't see it. We need to increase police and increase fire and increase the threat, increase our parks. So we are at a place now where there's not too many things we can decrease right now.
So it sounds like you want to add additional
funding.
Okay,
right.
Okay. Well, thank you for being with us today. I would like you to take a minute and share with our community of why they should vote for you, Dr. Barsh.
Well, I am the mayor for the people. Since I've been here for 7 years, I'm out in the community. We want to make this city, one voice, one people. We have a city with a lot of voices in it. I'm the mayor that'll make sure that our city council for the last 2 years literally has been out of order. Well, we have to bring order to first our leadership. So myself being in the military as an officer is to bring leadership. We want to be able to nurture the entire community. Our families, our youth has to be nurtured. They have to be informed. Most of the community leaders, community constituents have not been informed, whether it's in D1 or D2. We have to make sure we inform them. So I'm going to have a mayor report letter going out to them, and also a mayor report on the newspaper that they can be informed. So by voting for Barsh, you're voting to have accessibility. The people need to know who their mayor is and also know what's happening in their city. This is a vote for integrity, accountability, and a vote for trust. You be able to trust. Our city has lost a lot of things for the last 4 years, and that's because there was a lack of trust. We have lost some things here that we have to regain. So you can make sure that we'll be there to make sure we have accountability in your city. This is your city.
Thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.